Welcome back to another webcast. Today I'm going to be talking about the movie District 9 that we watched for the first film festival on, March 3rd. This was the second time I've seen the movie, and again, it was absolutely fantastic. And being the second time, I really got a lot of different things out of the film. Um, One of the things that really stood out to me this time was I thought it was an allegory of the rise of multinational corporations, which then results in the excuse me, um, which really subverts human rights. And this, was seen in several different parts of the film, where MNU, which was the fictitious security firm, um, had no qualms about the potential of harvesting uh, the main character's organs in an attempt to uh, get research out of him. Uh, and really, you see, the South African state took absolutely no role in controlling the aliens in District 9. It was only this multinational corporation. So I thought the director was really speaking to how multinational corporations are really taking over the role of states. They go into a state, and really they dictate the policies. They, dictate, what terms they want, labor wise, whether they can, do dumping, for pollution, just so these states can have these corporations there. So it's really It was a really powerful tale about how corporations can really control the state, and as a result, human rights suffer. The state is supposed to be the one who protects and upholds rights. However, when a multinational corporation comes in and takes away the state role, the corporation has no, real thought or care about individual rights. It's all about profit and making the most amount of money in the most amount of time. And clearly, this was seen in the movie where they just wanted to harvest the weapons, and it didn't matter, if the guy was human or not. Um, so that's what I thought it was initially talking about, and but you can go a lot deeper. I mean, clearly the film was an allegory on apartheid and post-apartheid politics, and how, a group who is seen as the other, in this case the prawns, they're pushed to the periphery of the city. They are forced to live in these shanty towns, these shacks, and they don't really, have any rights. And there's the hatred between the humans, and this was evident at the very beginning when they were interviewing different people in the documentary style, where the humans just wanted the prawns gone. They didn't care where they went to, or what their story was. They were the other. They were unclean, filthy, with a different culture, different work ethic, and they didn't fit in with humans. And the hatred was there, and this hatred really fueled, uh, fueled the MNU's ability to subvert the state, because the South Africans didn't care. Um, they wanted a way to control the prawns, and they were happy to give up some of their rights. Um, I thought it was interesting hearing Dr. Ballard speak about how maybe this wasn't so much a touch on apartheid, rather it was a discussion on the new, tin roofs, the shanty towns, the new living conditions for the urban poor, and how the government is making them go in, and or trying to clean out these shanty towns and making people go live in essence a concentration camp. I know it's not exactly a concentration camp, but it's it's forced housing in a controlled manner where the government has control, and that was an interesting thought, and that was seen in the movie through um, the the relocation process of the prawns in the tent city, which was supposed to be clean and supposed to be new, but in reality it wasn't. It wasn't better. It was worse. Um, so I thought that was interesting. Tying it back to the reading, I really liked this whole idea of semigration and how uh, people flee the other and go into their own little world. They stop caring about the state. They stop feeling like they are a part of South Africa. I thought it wasn't exactly omnipresent in the movie, but there were scenes where um, it could be viewed. Part of the scene, or part of that would be District 9 itself being a fenced off, cordoned off area where they are trying to keep the other out. Through segregation, but then there was the depiction of the neighborhood, the suburb where the main character's house was, and it was depicted as a nice, clean space where everything was very homogeneous, and you could go back to after a day of work in District 9. So there was that dual dichotomy there of clean versus filthy, squalor versus order, which is very interesting. And ultimately, you know, you know, uh, immigration is hurting South Africa, and South Africa, because people don't feel like they are part of anything, and they are just removing themselves from public life. Any it's a term. It's almost a white flight or an upper class flight, which I think is evident to the still kind of racial divides in South Africa. One of the reading questions was, what does what does the quote assimilation still a means of controlling the other mean? And I thought, basically assimilation is making the other fit into your cultural norms. And in the movie, the prawns were completely incapable of understanding human cultural ideas, and they were just so other, so different, so savage that they were forced to be segregated. So, that I thought it was fascinating. Finally, I thought it was a depiction of the human spirit, and how in the face of adversity, one person who's normally not brave can make the ultimate sacrifice, albeit reluctantly, for something that he believes in, and you can really through his interactions with the prawns and becoming one of them, he sees that they aren't that bad. That they that they have value, that they have on human cultural notions of family and self-worth, and that even though they were different, they still had rights, and he was able to decide, make the sacrifices. And on the other hand, it was the ultimate depiction of human evil, where humans can become so inherently violent, so inherently destructive, that they are willing to sacrifice all that is good in order to make a profit, or to just get sick thrills and kill prawns. And I thought it was very fascinating. As an aside, the movie itself, if you've never seen it, it's a great rush. It's a unique style. It was documentary. It's very gory, which made it very entertaining. I definitely enjoy watching humans get bit. The last third of the movie is just a giant um, you know battle, which was awesome. Which I get this that whole it kind of sparks something in my head right now. In the movie, there was the depiction of the Nigerians too. The Nigerians were also viewed as the other, in cooperation with the prawns, and they were depicted as evil, um, you know, people who exploited the situation in order to gain a profit, which really can be tied in with the Nigerian schemes of the lotto schemes, trying to I guess make a profit. But there was also the element of magic in there, where the Nigerians thought that they could you know get some of the prawns' power to control the weapons if they were to eat prawns. And um, I thought that the depiction of the Nigerians, they were depicted as subhuman, living with the non-humans. So there was that almost triple, there are the South Africans who, regardless of race, they were seen as clean. There was the Nigerians who were, you know, less clean, but they were still humans. They were just humans taking advantage of the situation, and who are who choose to exploit um, the prawns and fight against the MNUs. And then there was the prawns who were just the complete antithesis of humanity, and they were the other. So I thought that was another fascinating thing. So in closing, fantastic movie, had a great time. Highly recommend it. I have it on DVD. I might watch it again just to see what I get out of it. So I'll see you next time for another. I'll see you for Mugabe and the White African, and we will be discussing that shortly. So thanks, and have a good night.